All right, welcome in. My name is Next from Next on the Block. Today we're actually gonna welcome you guys in to your first introduction into crypto. Wow, I don't know why my gift stopped clapping, but it needs to keep clapping. You finally decided to be the change in your life. You finally decided to try to move out of your parents' basement. You know what? We're gonna be like my boy over here. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be just like him. You know, see, he's got his whip, he's got the girl, he's got the badge on the passenger seat, flexed out, subtle flexing. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome again. I know I started off a little upbeat, but you know, I just want to make sure that y'all are in tune and listening. So, first of all, what is crypto? Why? What is this? Well, first of all, before you even get in here, what is it? So, first of all, I'm not even gonna explain to you what crypto is because I don't wanna confuse your head. So I'm just gonna basically say what you're here for. I'm gonna explain to yourself what you are here for. You're here because you saw some guy on Twitter or on YouTube or your friend or on Instagram make a lot of money in crypto, and you're like, damn, that'd be nice to be like my boy Dan over here. But nah, you waited a long time. But it is what it is. It's never too late. So I give you props, as we said over here, my boy clapping right over here, that I give you props. You know, glad to see you, glad to have you in the space. So you're here because of trading. I mean, you saw people make trades, or maybe you're here for investing. There's a lot of different things you can do here in crypto, you know, and whatever you're here for, I'm here for it too. So, next up, I'm gonna go to why you use crypto. As I was stating before, you want to trade. Well, why you use crypto? You're here to make some money. You know, I'd like to say that everybody's here in the crypto space to, I just want to learn how to use it for the future, because it's the future, right? But no, you're here to make money. You're here like all the other money grubbing people, right? As I said, you're here ultimately to trade and make money, or invest, whatever you're into, or you can honestly even be here for meme coins. But I'm gonna get into everything a little later in a different video. Anyway, crypto's main premises behind a blockchain. Do you need to know what a blockchain is to end up in crypto and trade? No, not really. But brief summary is that's how the transactions are settled, right? That is the base platform of how the transactions are settled. I would look into that further on your own time if you really want to learn about it. But if you're just here to trade, this may take up some mental capacity and make you overthink and think a lot about the back end when you need to be worrying about actually making money, right? So let's go on to, what's the back end information I will need to start trading or investing? I guess I might do a separate video for meme coins. I'm not a pro in meme coins. I used to be in them trenches. For some of you that don't know, the trenches is when you're constantly 24/7 trading meme coins. I used to be in the trenches, but I've retired. So, first of all, let's go into how are you going to buy and sell the crypto? First of all, so what is an exchange? An exchange is basically a broker for some of you guys that are into stocks. If you're not, it's basically a platform that is holding your money for you, and allows you to take trades with it, right? So you'll have money as if it was like Robinhood. You'd have money on there. You'd put US dollar or USDT as a stable coin, and you'd use that money to either buy or long and short, right? And what exchanges can you use? There's a lot of exchanges you can use. To be honest with you, if you're in the US, which I'm not gonna say I am or am not, but if you're in the US, it's a little harder for us just because I said us. Never mind. I done sold myself. But if you're in the US, it's a little harder because there's a lot of iffy regulations going on right now. So a lot of platforms are banned, like KuCoin, and I believe MEXC is also banned in the US. But there's ways, there's some loopholes to get in there if you actually really want to. But Coinbase is probably the best one. Even if you're out of state, in state, Coinbase is the best one. The fees are a little higher than most other places, so you might just want to just be aware of that when you're doing it. But it's a really good beginner platform, and those fees really ain't gonna bite into your $10 trade, to be honest with you. So you can calm down. So you could try to turn that $10 into however much, $16 billion is what you said you wanted it.
Oh my god.
Yep, that's what you said you wanted. Anyway, Coinbase is a good one if you're looking in for derivatives trading or trading with leverage. I would say Blowfin is a good one, even though it was added to Coinbase, but it's just not as good as on Coinbase in my opinion. Coinbase also has a beginner-friendly side, and also at Coinbase Advanced for when you learn everything. MEXC's another one which you cannot access in the US, but there are some ways to get it. Another good platform. Coinbase only has a couple of coins. MEXC is gonna have a lot more. Blowfin's also gonna have a lot more, and a lot more ways of using high leverage on some not very known coins or some smaller cap coins, right? All right, we have two more over here in this corner. I really just wanted to introduce you guys to this, even though if you're a beginner level, you're most likely not gonna be able to function with these, but I definitely do say that you should learn it. Especially if you want to be in the space for a good amount of time, or if you think this is something you really want to look into. I would definitely say that even if you pull up and you find somebody in your neighborhood or whatever online that's like, hey, I'm into crypto too, if you tell them that you're trading on Hyperliquid or Avantis, man, they're gonna be like, this guy might know his stuff. This guy might know his stuff right here. But anyway, Hyperliquid and Avantis, I will return to those, but those are exchanges, but not as much of a broker or centralized exchange like Coinbase, Blowfin, and MEXC. This one you're putting KYC, well, except for Blowfin. Most of them you're putting KYC. They need to know who you are to verify your payments and all that stuff. Make sure all that as security. And for these right here, these two, Avantis and Hyperliquid, you're doing it based off of your wallet, right? I'll explain all that in a couple seconds. So, going back, some more back information is how do I read charts? Or where do I go to read charts? Because I can't teach you how to do all that right now. In a separate video, I'll try to explain all that to you. But for the time being, let's go with TradingView. TradingView is going to be your number one hub of looking at or reading charts, right? As in candle charts. Let's see if I can show you a good candle chart real quick. I don't want to dox myself. That's the only problem. Oh, all right. So these lines that you're seeing on the screen right here, these are candles, right? Do you know what you're looking at? Probably not. Do I blame you? Not at all. So just save that in your mind, just so you can picture what I'm talking about when I'm saying candles. Anyway, that was Dex Screener. You're most likely going to be on TradingView, but my TradingView looks completely different and is completely tailored to me. And if you see it and then I show you regular charts when you open up TradingView, you're going to be like, what is going on? So there you go. Those are what candles look like. Anyway, moving on. So your main hub to look at everything. So you just want to have your watch list, stuff that you want to just be able to check on your phone in the moment. You're maybe at your work and you don't want to have very much. You don't have very much time. You just want to pull out your phone. You just want to whip it out and check through some stuff. Definitely CoinMarketCap is CMC, and CoinGecko I would actually recommend to start using. I'm more accustomed to CMC just because I started off with it, but CoinGecko has more to offer, to be honest with you, and therefore I would get to use CoinGecko first, even though it is a little harder to use. If you don't like it, CoinMarketCap is a little bit more simple. Definitely something to look at. I'll open up CoinMarketCap for you. So this is CoinMarketCap right here. As you can see, it says CoinMarketCap at the top. Don't worry about the starred ones. Those are just stuff I have on my watch list, and I have a bunch of different watch lists, so don't be like, oh my god, I saw the stars, I'm going to buy all these things. Please don't do that. But this is what CoinMarketCap looks like. I'll try to explain a couple more stuff in a separate video about CoinMarketCap if it really needs to be done. But here we go. CoinGecko is also another really good one I was talking about. I'm not going to show you that right now, but it's basically kind of the same interface, just a little little harder to decipher, but again, in my opinion, it has more to offer than CoinMarketCap. So again, I would go with that. But I'm just accustomed to this. So now we get into the nitty gritty, right? It's like, okay, well, that's how I read charts, how I get to the charts and stuff like that. Well, what's the other stuff? What's all this stuff I've been seeing about these wallets? What were you talking about before, right? So there's something called hot wallets, right? Hot wallets are basically just a internet wallet, right? Just like if you had an exchange, it's basically like you holding money through a bank. Think of a hot wallet as money in your actual wallet, right? So let's say you have your money in Chase Bank, right? Chase Bank can collapse, and of course they have their insurance policy in there, but if you have over the set amount of money and Chase Bank closes, you will lose all of your money other than the insured amount. So that's basically the same thing when it comes to exchanges. Like we had Kraken and not even Kraken. We had FTX. FTX was a good one. FTX crashed and a lot of people lost money. They're trying to refund it now, but again, do you really want to wait for your money a year, even though you should have been entitled to it from the start? No, not really. So there's safer places for your money if you're just trying to buy and hold stuff. Or you can also trade from a hot wallet, which is what I was saying, that if you connect your hot wallet to a Hyperliquid or Avantis, you can trade directly from there. You don't even have to worry about having an exchange at that point. But anyway, MetaMask is a really good one. Everybody started off with MetaMask. I think it's gotten a lot better, but for a beginner, I would definitely recommend Phantom. Phantom is just so beginner friendly, tailored. It has its own browser within there that you can use to swap your coins and all that stuff. But go ahead and make a Phantom wallet if you're doing that. Also amazing for meme coins if you're using Phantom. Anyway, blockchain. Let's talk about the blockchain layers just a little bit, just to give you a little general understanding of it, even though this might confuse you a little bit more, just because this is just a lot of information at the end, but you kind of don't really need to trade, but it's good to know. So there's different layers when it comes to blockchain. Layer 0, I'm not even going to talk about that just because that's going to take a while to wrap your head around in the first place. So we're going to talk about layer 1s. Layer 1s are like Ethereum and Solana. We'll use those as good examples. And then there's also stuff that's built on top of Ethereum and Solana. Like Ethereum has a layer 2, Optimism, and I believe Matic is also or was also a layer 2 of Ethereum. And there's a couple more. Can't really name them off the top of my head for some reason right now. Solana has meme coins, which you can also consider layer 2, I believe. Or like Pump Fund is a layer 2, and I guess the layer 3s are the meme coins launched on there. I have to fact check that, but again, not very much to learn there. I mean, that's just giving you a general concept of you might need to be on Ethereum's blockchain to purchase some stuff on Ethereum if you're using a hot wallet. Same thing with Solana, same thing with BNB, whatever layer 1 you're on, to purchase those layer 2s within that. So if I'm on Ethereum and I'm trying to buy a Solana meme coin, that's not going to work. Okay? Unless you have a bridge, but a bridge is most likely not going to have that meme coin. So you'd end up needing to use Solana to then buy the Solana meme coin. I put a burger here. You're like, why is there a burger here? What does this have to do with crypto? So think about it as layers: layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and then so on and so forth. So everything is built on top of layer 1, and then that would be one ecosystem, right? So let's say that's Solana, Pump Fund, meme coin launched in a meme coin, and then so on and so forth. Usually it doesn't go that far down, but still. Yeah. So what's one thing that you really need to start thinking about when you're getting into crypto? Again, I would definitely say heavily researching multiple of these things. Hopefully I should have videos coming out on each section of this if it's really needed, because honestly I don't really think that a video in every section is needed, but if it's needed I will do it. So what's the main thing is I would say you need to have a strategy. When you come into crypto, you can't just be bare just buying everything. Oh, I see it, looks cool, buy. No. Please don't do that. That's how everybody steals your money. And I don't mean steal as in they come and hold you at gunpoint in the middle of your house while you're on your computer. No, I do not mean that. I mean that people will try to manipulate you psychologically online. They'll say, hey, buy this now. You're getting in early. You're already almost too late. But if you get in now, if they're trying to hurry you into doing stuff, it's most likely they're trying to get your money, especially when it comes to meme coins. Like a meme coin, you can put $500 in and it could be $5 in less than 30 minutes. It's possible. I'm not saying it's probable. Actually, I am saying it's probable. For some things, if you don't do your research on it, it is probable. So that's another thing I would say. But if you want to get into strategy, I would say that like reading the charts, analyzing charts, learning how to do technical analysis on charts is a really good way to start. Also getting into different communities, different networks, talking to people around. They can give you bits and pieces of what they do. Like some people use RSI and MACD and they trade off of that. That is very bare bones stuff, but it's a very good beginner start to learning how to read charts and stuff like that. Also, Twitter is a really good information hub if you know how to siphon through it. And sometimes you could siphon through it and find good stuff, but again, as a beginner, it's going to be really hard to tell what's real and what's fake, because 99% of it is fake and they're just trying to do a money grab. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm really not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to make sure that you don't lose money. I don't want you to lose. I would rather you be very successful and end up like my boy Dan. Hold up, where's Dan? Like my boy Dan over here, dripped out in the, what is this? It's a Ferrari Guinea. Wow. With the badge on the side. Wow. Flexed up with the clout goggles. Come on, man. Who doesn't want to be like my boy Dan? Anyway, yeah. So again, developing a strategy is something that's going to come along in a while. But it's something to keep in the back of your head. So once you see stuff, you're just like, okay, well, I can add this to how I do my research or how I approach my strategy, right? And it's important to do that and keep building and try to keep testing it. Again, we'll get into a lot later. But I just want to say thank you guys again for coming in. Again, welcome into the crypto space. If this is your first video, I'll give you guys some applause again. Here you go. So yeah. Have a good rest of your day, and welcome. I'm glad to have you. I'm happy to have you in the space.